Try that again. Good evening, all. Let me see if I've turned the mic on, is what I was saying. I appear to, and I appear to be live. All good. So, as usual, let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. I must very quickly say hello to Not Jeff 200, who seems to be very insistent that I say hello. So, hi. Hope you're all well. Who have we got in tonight? We've got Silver Creek Aquatics in nice and early. There seems to be like some kind of hole in the matrix. There's nobody wishing me hi from Doncaster. What's going on? Scott's in. Martin L, nice to see you. Good evening. Kaylee. Silver Surfer, nice to see you. Lee Kinsey. Lee, how are you doing? There's me, because I accidentally forgot to put on the intro. There you go. Not Jeff 200. Hi. Hi. And again. Hi. 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 Ross says, good evening from a surprisingly wind and rain-free Edinburgh. You know what? It's not too bad. I was going to go I was going to go live from the fish room tonight, but I've spent the last few hours escaping the custom Discus tank. So, fingers crossed, that video will be coming out very soon. So I've literally finished 10 minutes ago and ran upstairs rather than trying to get everything set up down there. So hope you don't mind that we've done 2 weeks in a row from the office. Hopefully that's alright. Jack says evening all. Not Jeff says hi again. Hans is in the fish vet. Evening fellow beer-fueled chums. I have bowed to the pressure. All my ranting of things that should not be in beer, and we've gone for Eagle banana bread beer. Not only that, I've gone all out. So tonight's theme is things that don't belong in beer. So we've got banana bread. We have peanut brittle stout. So 3 things I don't like in that one. I'm really just a masochist. This one. This might actually be quite nice. So, this slightly Scottish theme. We have tropical trossachs. And bonus points if you know what a trossach is. And last but not least, if we get there, go on, you can do it. Focus. Big Berry Bonbon Strawberry Milkshake Beer. Strawberry Milkshake. Tropical trossachs, banana bread, and peanut brittle stout. I can quite happily say that these are all things that don't belong in beers. So that's tonight's theme. What should I start with? I kind of want to leave Strawberry Bonbon to last because I either love it or hate it. But you tell me. Well, I say hello to everyone. Oh, Elizabeth Kerr. Hello, Elizabeth. Go away. Get off my stream. Thanks, Fishkeeper, Barry, Ian. If you have a beer, I'm sampling a local favourite from the... No, I can't read that. What is going on with my... Is it my glasses, or is it... There we go. No. A local favourite from Deep Ellum, Dallas, Texas. Deep Ellum IPA boasts of fruit, but is fragrant on the heavy pine evergreen notes. Very earthy for an IPA. See, you should be a proper beer sampler. I can't come up. I'm like minging or lovely. That's about as good as it gets. I'll try and be nice tonight and do it properly. Mic is on. Good. That's what we learnt. Aquarium Daily's back from his jollies. Her jollies? His jollies? Who knows? I'm just going to quickly scroll down and see if anybody's had any suggestion of what I should start with. No, so still on the yuppie beers. Hello, daughter. Go away, daughter. We're getting stream bombed. Is that because your friend's on here?
It's not my friend.
Oh, he's not your friend. Oh, okay. Sorry.
He really wants you to shout him out.
I have done now. I'm going to start with peanut brittle stout because that sounds about as disgusting as it's going to get. Oh, although it is nearly 7%. Shall we try this one? Let's go for it. Get the whole ASMR. Doesn't smell like peanut butter. So, as I say, big custom Discus tank. That's my focus this last week. I'm hopeful this weekend we will get fish in. So, hardscape is done. This is very stouty. Plants are purchased, or in a tank in the fish room. I think I've got all the fish that I'm going to need for this tank. So tomorrow we'll be planting and filling, getting up to temperature, and maybe tomorrow night get fish in, or Sunday get fish in. That smells of nothing. It smells vaguely of, vaguely of stout. Yeah, I could tell it was a stout. Oh, that is interesting. I would have said that was chocolate if I didn't know any better. Not a nice chocolate, but chocolate nevertheless. I've got quite the kick of aftertaste. Oh. So yes, big Discus tank. That's been my focus for the last week or so. In fact, more than that. If you don't know the story, the very quick recap is my big Discus tank. I brought it from my old house to this house, filled it up. It cracked. The bottom panels cracked. I needed to replace the floor in my hallway, so I kept thinking that was an imminent thing. And then a year later, we finally got around to replacing the floor. So we have the tank back up. So I've been repairing the tank. The crack was actually caused by the removal men wrapping a cord around one of the supports, and I couldn't see it because it was behind a panel. And then when I filled it up, the weight of the water hit that bump and broke the bottom. So that's fine. I've got a sheet of acrylic, cut to size, put that down. Spoiler alert for the new video. Put that down, sealed it all in, thought we were good. Leak tested, leak failed. So it was a leaky boy. I had to have a few goes at it. I didn't film all of the remediation, but eventually what I ended up doing was just taking everything out and putting down a good 2.5, 3 tubs of silicone and making like a bed around the outside, so I get a few inches in from the outside, and just lowering it down onto it and leaving it with weights sat on top of it. Sealed it like a good one, so that's good. It's been filled with water about 6 days. So I drained it, moved it into position, and I've started putting it back together again. Quite excited about this because I've thought about it. I've had a kind of an idea in my head of how I wanted to scape it. Very much going for the leave space for fish rather than just boom, plants, rocks, everything, wood everywhere. Learning my lesson as I'm now a fairly experienced discus keeper. If you give them a chance to hide, they will hide. If you give them a nook or a cranny to cram themselves into it, they'll cram themselves into it. So try to be mindful of that as I was doing the scape, trying to keep a little bit of elevation, trying to do the whole feng shui thing without really knowing what the hell I'm doing. Most of my aquascaping comes down to me throwing everything in the tank and then spending an hour moving it all around and tweaking it until I get something that I'm kind of happy with. But yeah, like I say, spoiler alert, I think I've got something that I'm kind of happy with this one. So my original idea of kind of having a slope going up towards the back, done that, we've got that, we've achieved that with I wanted the wood to look like it was flowing. So the way the tank's positioned, it's in the hallway, so it's going to be in the hall, which seems strange, but it's quite a big hall. It's a weird house. So it's in the hallway. We've got a kitchen door on the right hand side, the living room door on the left hand side, and then a bit further to the left is the front door, and then obviously my bedroom door is across the hall from it. So there's going to be several angles where I'll be coming at this. So I was trying to be sympathetic to get the best viewing angle of where I'm going to see it most. And I like it. I was a bit worried that I couldn't get the rocks to fit in with the aquascape. I'm a terrible aquascaper, basically. I kind of have half ideas of what I'm trying to achieve, and a general lack of skill as to how I'm going to get there. But hopefully, have I even brought? I could have shown you a picture of what it looks like. So it's like torture now. Hopefully, I think I've got it. I've tried to incorporate everything. So the cladding, the fish tank, the stand cladding. I've tried to bring more sympathetic colours into the sand and the rocks. If you've seen my previous tanks, there's been a heavy use of dragonstone because I bought a lot of dragonstone. Whereas I've gone for more of a... I've tried to make it like a statement piece, which I think it kind of deserves to be. So I'm kind of hopeful that we're going to get there and this is going to look quite nice. Like I say, I've only done hardscape so far, but I've got the plants, I've got the fish. Yeah, I'm excited to see how it turns out. Let's put it that way. So that's what I've been up to. What have you lot been up to? Let me know in the chat while I run down and see what everyone's saying. Matt Braun's in, Andy Morrison, Slender Blobfish, which is a fantastic name. Freshwater Ichthyology, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Are you on your hollybobs or something? Pardon me. Evelyn, hello there. Only Oscars. Hans says hello from Sweden. You can say hello from Sweden. I think your prize from last week should be winging its way to you. Silver Creek, Stephen Green, lots of new names I'm seeing tonight, as well as some old favourites. Christine, nice to see you again. Raspberries definitely got no place in a brew. I don't know, I didn't mind the last raspberry one. This is strawberry and milkshake. These are two words I do not associate with beer, but stout makes my stomach churn, says Steve. It makes my face screw up. Maybe, I think we can definitely knock... But mind you, I don't mind Guinness, I don't mind Caffrey's, things like that. But this is... even to say tolerable would be a bit of a stretch. But I am Scottish and I'm not going to waste it. Even though I want to pour it away. Oh yeah. Rocky's Rocky. There we go. Still on the yuppie beers. I'm trying to culture myself, to develop my palate, as they say. But there's so many weird beers out there in the world that we could be doing this for weeks. Might move on to wine soon. What do we think? Wine or spirits? Not really into wine. Not really into spirits. Other than a good bourbon. I like a nice bourbon. I like a terrible bourbon, actually. Jim Beam's my favourite. You know, I'm trying to expand my horizons and see what else I could quaff of an evening. Phil's in. Evening, Phil. How you doing? Hope things are looking up. You've had a tough time recently. Ian Clark's mini fish room just popped into during my break to leave a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Do the milkshake one last. It'll save your tummy. Yeah, maybe that's the way to go. David. Nice notification today that some fish food is winging its way to... In fact, I do apologise to everyone. Your fish food has probably been winging its way to you for the best part of 2 or 3 days. We've had some strange... Well, I guess you're all in the same boat. What am I trying to say? Postal strikes. That's the word. So you should get it soon. As this is as good a time as any for an ad. I really should have like ad theme music or something like that. So that didn't work. Oh, it did work. Subscribe to Aquarium Adventures, everyone's favourite loosely professional aquarium channel. But if you're in the UK and you fancy some of my fish food, you can head over to aquariumadventures.co.uk for all your fishy needs. Well, some of them. And merch, you can get... He says not wearing a merch t-shirt. Merch can also be purchased from there. So there's towels, there's hoodies, t-shirts, polos, hats. You want it, you want it. Oh God, how strong is this? You name it, you can have it. But fish food, merch, no fish, no plants. I need to update the website. I'm knocking all that on the head for a while. But you know, it all goes to a good cause. Eee. No, but I have had some genuinely good feedback from my fish foods, which are all things that I use anyway. Especially the soft Artemia. Everyone says that's good. I've not had any bad feedback at all from that. Fish Vet, I have a Pornstar Martini. Lost the power of speech. I have a Pornstar Martini IPA. Based on my limited knowledge of said cocktail, I'm expecting to attack someone with my stilettos in a kebab house at 3 a.m. What is in a Pornstar Martini? I don't even know. This is going to hurt my Google search results. How to make a Pornstar Martini. How to drink it. I don't want how to drink it. I just want to know what's in it. Passion fruit flavoured cocktail made with vanilla flavoured vodka, Passoa passion fruit juice and lime juice. Traditionally accompanied by a chilled shot glass of Prosecco. There you go. I don't think it'd be my kind of thing, but I suppose that wouldn't be too bad. Vanilla vodka, passion fruit flavoured juice, I guess, and some lime. I could get on board with that. The face said it all, yes. Next week you should try coffee beer. Now there's another thing I've been trying to get into for a while, is decent coffee. I'm not a tea, I don't drink tea, don't drink coffee normally, but I got myself a Tassimo machine. I can't remember why I got myself a Tassimo machine. It was like stupidly cheap or something like that, and I got into having my morning cappuccinos out of that. So have I hit that age now where is this what happens when you're middle aged? Am I middle aged or am I elderly? I suppose for a Glaswegian I'm probably elderly. But when you reach that age that you're trying, I must broaden my horizons and try new things. So coffee, wine, beer, well, all drink related though. There's probably a name for that. Other than alcoholism. Coffee's not alcoholic. But try a coffee beer next week. I struggle with beer at the best of times, like this. Frickin' disgusting. But I feel like I have to get to the bottom of it just so as I can say, yes, I finished it. And I can now say, oh, it's horrible. Whew. That's your reaction to heavy milkshake beers. So now you're putting me off my milkshake beer. I thought that sounded quite nice. Whew. Good evening, Mark. Martin with the fishy question. Oh, there you go, get us back on track. Have you got any stocking plans for the Ikea Aquarium, the Serper video? Intrigued but scared me. Very tempted to make a couple though. I do have plans. I'm not sure which of them I'm going to go for. As always, every time I do something I have 4 or 5 options and I can never make my mind up. I need to bring my pond goldfish in because there's been a couple of days this week where I could see my breath in the morning, and that was kind of my sign that as soon as we get to that stage we need to bring in the pond goldfish. So I was thinking of putting them in it to keep them over winter. But when I start to move my discus and stuff upstairs, I might put the goldfish in those tanks because they're slightly bigger, so slightly more suitable to keep them in there over winter. I was thinking of upgrading the pea puffer tank, because the pea puffer tank in the fish room, although it looks quite big from that way, from face on it looks fairly decent. It only stretches half the way across the back of the stand, the back of the racking, so there's a load of wasted space. So I want to get that tank out and replace that with this bigger one, so I might just swap the pea puffers right into that. But this whole discus display tank thing, that's going to free up a load of tanks and a load of space, so it has got me thinking about what I want to start looking into. So if there's anything you can think of that you'd like to see on the channel that I might not have thought of, I'm not saying I'm going to rush out and just buy that thing, because trying to keep things that I have an interest in. But yeah, give me some suggestions. I'm happy to at least take a look at some things that we might keep in the fish room. I'm going to have another 4 or 5, not massive tanks, but not tiny tanks. I'm going to have 4 or 5 150 litre tanks-ish, probably, that I can put some stuff into. So that's what I'm thinking so far, is I might just do a straight swap for the pea puffers and give them a bit of an upgrade. And then see how I feel. Beer and coffee is something I would contemplate. I wouldn't care if it's un-Australian at that point. The coffee Guinness is actually quite nice. I'm not sure if I'm sold on this. Let's see if we can catch up to the bottom. Tolerable. The recommendation I always look for in a beer. This is scraping tolerable. It's not even tolerable. I'm just pushing my way through this. Hoping I can get onto something a little bit nicer. Try a bit of Buffalo Trace or Knob Creek. Very nice bourbon. Yeah, I have had them in the past. I'm a bit of a... What's the opposite of a snob? I'm a bit of the opposite of a bourbon snob, that I like a decent one, but I also like to have it with Coke. Or more specifically, Pepsi Max. So Jim Beam's definitely my favourite for the nice smoothness. I like yum yum yum, lovely. I do like Bulliet. I like that one. I mean, the Knob Creeks and all that kind of stuff, they're fine, but I can't tell the difference in the way that I drink them. Maybe if I took them neat, that would make a bigger difference. But there seems to be a scale, and once you get up to, once I've hit Jim Beam, I'm happy. That's nice. That's delicious. Other ones are like slightly more nice or slightly more delicious, but they're not like huge leaps. So I'm kind of happy with that. I don't like Jack Daniels, so more over the Jim Beam side. What do I talk about here? The fish channel, Graham. This is a fish channel. Callum, just dropping by. Not had my tea yet, so need to go and have. How can you not have had your tea yet? I know I often haven't had my tea when I do this, but you literally run a cafe. No? What am I missing? Cocoa Wonderland. Here we go. 6.8 of chocolate porter. Verdict incoming. Well, I'm going to give... I've had to give this a rating. Peanut brittle stout. 6.9 volume. So, great on the strength. Peanut, can't taste any peanut. Brittle, that would suggest in some way some sweetness, maybe. Not at all sweet. Stout. So, let's just call it stout. Stout. 0 out of 10. Horrible. Would you judge me if I poured this away? Oh, well, maybe I'm getting some peanuts now. Not in a nice way. I hear that Ikea are in talks with Aquadecor to develop artificial meatball decks for the new aquarium line. Well, do you know what? There's a few Ikea hacks that I've done over the years. Like these, what are they called? Kallax units. I've used them for aquarium stands for ages. And I've got a couple of videos about making aquarium stands out of Kallax units. And they're just full of people saying, "Oh, it's a terrible idea, they will collapse, they're made of paper, blah, 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 blah." I've literally had 5 or 6 years worth of tanks stood on these things, and they're bulletproof, they're rock solid. Now, obviously, if you were to like attack it with a screwdriver and then pour loads of water over it, yes, that would be a problem. But if you're even semi common sense about it, they're great. So I think it would be... IKEA would do well to open up a range of aquarium-based hackable things. There's like, obviously I'm into IT. I work in IT, therefore I hate IT. But in the IT world, there's also a lot of hacks. So like the Malm or the Lam tables are exactly the same width as a standard 1U server. So you can use them as server racking cabinets. So there's loads of people have done that. There's other ones that make perfect what's the word I'm looking for? Air conditioning ducts. There's I'm a big fan of hacking IKEA stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. And the fact that we can do it with more aquarium stuff, that glass is perfect. A lot of people have pointed out in the last video. So if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. No, if you haven't seen it, I made a video that was copying essentially the Serpa Design channel. They said, look, you can buy these shelves from IKEA. You don't have to cut glass, because that's the biggest thing that puts people off about making aquariums, is having to cut glass or having to go and speak to someone at a glazier to cut glass and getting you're going to make an aquarium? What? So you can just rock up to IKEA, buy them. And it was specifically that you could make a rimless tank. So they're kind of high-end tanks, rimless tanks. They're generally regarded to be a little bit more showy and a little bit more... this is a presentation. This is a nice tank that you can show off your brilliant aquascape, your lovely fish, whatever it is. It's not just some piece of crap that you throw together and put in your fish room, which is what I'm going to use it for. But it seems that the US sizes make it a perfect tank, whereas mine had like 1.5 inches on either side, protruding above the front and the back sides. But still, it was nearly. But it was fine. And a few people pointed out that was actually quite good. You could use that as a feature, so we're definitely calling that a feature. Where you could just, perfect for hanging your lights off of and raising your lights up a little bit and things like that. So yeah, I can see that working actually. And it was pretty good. It was pretty easy to get a pretty good looking finish. So I would heartily suggest everyone go and try that if you're into it. The glass is nice and thick. It gives a nice sturdy tank. It's a good size. Lots of options. And looks good. Right, I'm so far behind. I'll try and catch up a little bit. Zen Ginger, how you doing? You better clear your history. Yes. What's the best porn star? We have decent coffee. What? Decent coffee. What? And you don't have food, or you just? I'm so far behind. Sorry. Pardon me. Guinness is a fantastic pint, but has to be drunk in the pub that hasn't been decorated since the 1970s to guarantee a good pint. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. House of Sass, hello there. Mark Stelson. Cocoa Wonderland doesn't taste of chocolate. Don't think I like it. My taste buds are confused. Yeah, I think mine are on a similar level. There's definitely a taste to this, though. Some of the other ones that were bland. It's Marmitey, I guess. I can see people liking this. It's not for me, though. Soft Artemia beer. Fishy. I don't know if that'd be any nicer. Oh, shrimpy. Yeah, quite right. Loving that YouTube subtitles think that Graham is now selling fresh fruit rather than fish food. The YouTube algorithm and subtitle machine is extremely racist towards me. This is one of Sharpie's favourite games to play, is put on the subtitles and see how many things it says that I want to. Oh, that doesn't even make sense. See how many things it says that I'm not trying to say. Verdict on Pornstar Martina. I have lost the power of speech. I'm going to slow down a little bit. Verdict on Pornstar Martini IPA. Who wants fights? But also quite drinkable. I would hope it would be. In these fruitier ones, it's, to my mind, it's making something minging tolerable. Whereas you could just not have minging things. You drink the nice stuff. I don't know. Just the smell of coffee makes me rich. I used to be like that, I must admit. Loads of things I hated when I was younger. Olives. They would literally make me vomit. The smallest touch on the tongue, I just couldn't have it. The smell of them made me feel ill. But you quite like them now. So that's why I'm doing this kind of thing, to think, right, these are objectively and subjectively disgusting. That might change one day. Am I just over-egging this? I don't know. things that are horrible can sometimes, you can grow to them, can't you? Ooh. A chug. Oh, no, I don't know if I could chug. Courtney Smith. God, all the old people, to probably the youngest person here, all the old gang making a comeback tonight. Excellent, nice to see you, Courtney. Barely bearable. What a recommendation. I shall go and buy a cake. A tank with licorice gouramis. Hell no. I don't know what. Somebody sent me a fish list recently that had chocolate gouramis, licorice gouramis, loads of different gouramis, and it made me think of you, I must admit. And it did make me think, shall I get some? One day maybe. Glad to see some old mods reappearing. Yes, we need to up the mods. I think it's not fair to expect everyone to come every week. So applications at. I've just made it go away. Applications at Discord. Jump in there if you're interested. Be helpful if you're fairly knowledgeable, but you don't have to be. You just have to look for one specific guy that comes every now and again and ban him. Am I feeling okay? I've pulled off a couple of cool projects recently. Well, to be fair, we still have all the embarrassing projects like Mega Tanks still. That's now empty again. I haven't killed any fish in a few weeks, as if that's some kind of achievement. I better touch wood or something, because that's going to cause a problem. Yeah, I know. Things are looking up. Maybe this is the change where everything starts to go right. Oh. I've used Ikea units to be careful of water and affix them to the wall if they're top heavy. And you're great. Yeah, there are loads of things you can do, but I think pretty much every single hobby going, when I was getting into photography or trying to learn about cameras and stuff, every third video was about, use this Ikea hack to store your camera gear. When I've been looking at ballet and gymnastic stuff, not for me, but for my daughter. So, I use this Ikea stuff to store your gymnastics gear, and use this as instead of a pommel horse, use the Bratwurst or whatever it's called. So I think pretty much every hobby has their own version of Ikea hacks. And Ikea must love that. Like what I said. You probably said that a lot earlier than I said, though, because I'm miles behind. A lot of hobbies have Ikea hacks. For plants, mostly the cabinets can work as terrariums. Pets, yeah, loads of the cabinets are like, stick a door on this hamster cage. Loads of that kind of stuff. While I remember, did you check out Aquadiction's video about fish room energy cost saving? I did check out the video. Yeah, I mean, there's loads of those type of videos going on at the moment. I did make a mental note that I need to go and look at infrared heating, because I'm not 100% sold on it, but that's not to say that it's not a thing. I did see another video where someone had used an infrared heater, and they said it couldn't pass through glass of a certain thickness or something along those lines. And I did notice that the Aquadiction guys were using those stick-on glass thermometers. So I was wondering, is it just heating the first couple of layers of the glass, but it's not getting into the water? But they seem to think that all the tanks were fine, and they've got their hands in the tank quite a lot. So I don't know. Definitely worth considering, I think. A wild Mickey has made an appearance as well. We've had a problem with our food supplier, who can't seem to tell the truth about when food is being delivered. It's now 2 weeks late, and so far he's sent a poster of it. At least you've got a picture of it. I mean, what more do you want? I don't like the idea of alcohol trying to be another alcohol. Yeah, it's got a thing about... I fundamentally believe this is stupid. If you want beer, have beer. If you want banana bread, have banana bread. The Venn diagram for people who are like, oh, I'm desperate for a beer and I'm desperate for banana bread, but I can't possibly have those two things together. Smush. That's my answer. How did that come about? But I'll try it. How's the subscriber numbers going? We have a special 15k hoodie waiting for something. Oh, really? I'd like a special 15k hoodie. How are the subscribers? Subscribe. Easy for me to say. How are the subscribers? We're 14 something. So we're not quite to 15k. I'd like to get to 15k this year, if at all possible. Why can't I find my YouTube? There it is. We're at 14,441, so another 539. So if you've got any of you've got 500 friends, please go and tell them to subscribe to Aquarium Adventures. I'd love to get. I mean, it's a arbitrary number. I'd like to get to 15,000. This is, after all, my retirement plan. I need to pay the bills as well, so that also helps. But yeah, it's not going great, if I'm completely honest. It seems to have slowed down. I used to get kind of 300-400 subscribers a month, and the last month we were down to 145 subscribers, but we were as low as 120 a couple of months back. So I don't know if it's just a bad time of year, but yeah, or me just not creating enough content. I've been extremely busy at work and proper job and all that kind of stuff, so I don't know if it's a combination of me making crappy videos and not enough of the crappy videos to sustain it. But you know, I try. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy that I've not got enough time to make videos, so then I don't spend enough time making the videos, and the videos aren't good, they don't do very well, and then it doesn't inspire me to make the next video. So I just need to get some time and put some effort into making these videos. I'm hoping that I've got a week off soon, so when the schools are off on holiday, I've got a week off. I can hope get a couple of projects completed, get some videos made, some videos queued up, so I'm not always scrabbling to release something at the last minute, and maybe spend a little bit more time on it. But how much of a difference that makes when your channel's as small as mine, I don't really know. But I appreciate everyone that comes to join us here. This is very much my Friday night chill. I almost said Netflix and chill with all you, but that's definitely not what's happening here. But it's my Friday night wind down, shall we say. And it's great. I'm very appreciative of everyone being here and hanging out. A lot of people have in the UK. I also treat my house plants a little like I would with garden plants. I'm tempted to have a small tank at the bottom. It's a conversation I'm obviously joining halfway through. I apologise. Oh, Mickey, making me feel jealous. Food of Champions at Domino's. Do you know what? I had my first ever, what are they called? Papa John's pizza. A few months ago when we were on holiday. I've never had a Papa John's pizza, and I think it might be my favourite takeaway pizza. Controversial? Who knows? If you know who Graham's referencing, then you know. Yes, I thought he had appeared earlier, but I think that was just one of my daughter's friends. Why did you say that? Every time I say that, everything dies. I know, that's why I immediately touched wood. Is coral good for discus fish in the tank? Corals, what, like coral sand, do you mean? As Rebecca's saying, corals are a marine, it's a saltwater thing. So actual corals, no. Coral sand, probably also no. Discus, if anything, prefer a softer water. I did actually keep a bag of coral sand in my sump for a while, just to try and get the hardness a little bit more stable, raise it a little bit. But generally, no, you don't need it. Replace wife with Ikea cabinet. Hack. Yeah, you might get hacked. David's recently built a 1,000-gallon koi pond and used HA6 silicone to fix the liner to the glass. Maybe that's the way to go with Megatank. That 100% is the way to go with Megatank. So I'd always said that if this last one didn't work, and it hasn't, I'll have to give up. I was either going to strip it back to fiberglass it or put in a pond liner. And I think to put in fiberglass, I would have to do so much more work to remove everything and prep it to get ready to glass it, that I might as well just go with the pond liner. And like you say, put it in. I might even buy like a box welded liner so I don't have the folds, and then put it in and just cut out where the window is and attach it with the silicone. Like you say, that's exactly what I was thinking of doing. So I'm glad to hear someone else has done it successfully, and that it's not just another stupid idea that Graham has and tries out and fails miserably on camera with. So I 100% that is what's in the back of my mind. Simon's in. Nice to see you. Infrared won't heat the glass, anything reflective, but it'll heat everything else. I've determined closing the door in my office is enough, but I'm still stressing about it left. Well, closing the door will definitely help. Yeah, I'm just going to pat myself on the back with my forethought and insight to insulate my fish room inside my garage. It's doing really well. It's holding temperature really well. I've got the radiator in there. That now helps quite a bit, but also the thermal curtains that I've put in, they seem to be doing the job. So it's all about these, in my experience, in my situation, it's all about these little incremental wins. So changing the heating over to getting a radiator in there and use the central heating brought the cost down a little bit. When I get the Discus upstairs, I think that'll be better as well, because they'll be in the main house and not in the fish room, because the Discus were still needing to be topped up above what the central heating would get them to. But having them all together will be just one set of heaters rather than two sets of heaters heating two tanks. I don't know, in my mind that makes sense, but it probably doesn't now that I've said it out loud. But they'll also be in the warmer house. No, because then the fish room's warm now as well. Well, shut up, Graham, I don't know what I'm talking about. But the little things like making sure everything's got a lid now, making sure that the doors are all shut properly and the curtains are drawn and the heat's kept in. They all make these little gains that give you big wins. Beer fixes stress though. Well, I guess to a degree, yes. Unless it is fucking disgusting. Okay. Right, let's try the next one that's going to be fucking disgusting. This isn't a flick knife or anything, it's just a comb. Slash bottle opener. Right, banana bread. Come on, save my bacon. Banana. Smells of banana. I like banana. So this could work. Need a palate cleanser if nothing else. Oh, that was not nice. Peanut brittle beer stout stuff. 0 out of 10. That's definitely the worst one we've tried in this experiment. Would not recommend. Do not recommend. Definitely banana. Which is a positive. I want to say custard. Why do I want to say custard? That's better than the last one. Maybe because the bar was so low from the last one or anything. Oh, manky puddle water. Delicious. Miles behind. Sorry, I need to catch up. I can only see 14 but 4, but not the breakdown. Is there anything that's... I'm sure we could share that. There you go, there's my notifications. Let's move that out the way. So there you go. I was quite pleased at the performance of this one. So the Ikea flat pack fish tank video, my second best video in the last, I think it's over the last 6 months or something like that. It compares it. Second only to the Discus tank wipeout worst day in fish keeping, which is always going to do well because everyone loves a disaster. So flat pack fish tank from Ikea, I'm fairly happy with that. I mean, these are pathetic numbers by proper YouTuber standards, but I'll take it. So I was quite happy with that. I think that did well. I quite liked my thumbnail. I like the wee Ikea man. Used the Ikea colours. See, put more than 10 seconds of thought into this, you know. But look at this. 2 million views. We've gone over 2. In fact, I thought about making a video about that. Is anyone interested in a bit of analytical breakdown now of my YouTube channel? Well, we'll see. I don't want to bore you to death straight away. An actual Swedish person's now going to give us a lesson on Ikea. The Ikea names are Swedish words like glass is called utrustad, which in Swedish is Swedish for equip. What's Billy? Just out of interest. Stuart says the Ikea fish tank build was great. Made me think I could do it myself, even though there are no Ikeas in Cornwall. I'm used to Ikea names having many more syllables and umlauts than I'm prepared to pronounce. We should have a massive Zoom. Well, if anybody wants to come on we can do that now. I have the bandwidth. We can have guests. If you've got anything, if you want to get off your chest and have a rant or just a quick discussion or whatever, hop onto Discord. You can hop into one of the video channels. I have the ability. We can bring in dozens of people if we need to. If you don't want to be on camera, I'm sure we could just bring you in as a sound guest. That's a word for that. Audio? Who knows? Maybe that's supposed to start doing that. Stuart's in the bath. That might not be a good idea. No, we don't have to do videos. That made me laugh. Nothing controversial about Papa John's being good. We have Caprinos here, which are actually decent too. Caprinos. I recognise that name. Why do I recognise that name? It'll come back to me. Side note, got a quote for the extension, aka the fish. Oh, very good. Hope you do it right first time. Get it well insulated. You can use a little rubber duck to cover up. Oh, I added the word little there. You didn't even say that. Oh, me old dad thinks my videos are brilliant. Thank you very much, Dad. I think so too, but me and usually 2,000 other people and that's it. But you know, it keeps things ticking over. I'm very grateful for everyone that watches my videos and all the super chats and things that everyone contributes, because that's what's paying for my heating. So what's paying for the upkeep of my Discus tank and my fish room. I would not be able to do it without this YouTube hobby, so yes, I'm immensely thankful to everyone. Discus, what is a good temperature for them and don't get sick? Is that me, don't get sick? It tastes like flat beer with a hint of banana. If that's your thing, go for it. What's a good temperature for them and don't... so, if it's they don't get sick, temperature's got very little to do with it. Temperature that you normally keep Discus at, people will say things like 30 degrees Celsius, and that's fine. That... because it's that bit warmer, that does tend to make them a little bit more robust and resistant to things like ick. Things that, if a fish gets it, often the advice is, raise the temperature, because that'll kill it off. Discus they're not immune to it, but they're a little bit more resistant to it because they generally hang around in those higher temperatures. I'm dialing back my Discus temperatures, so I'm probably going to be keeping them at 28, which is normally the low end of acceptable that people will say, but I do know there are lots of people that are saying, no, I've been to the Amazon, we've done temperature checks on the river, and they spend months at 25 and 26, and it peaks at 31, that kind of thing. So there is a little bit of debate. I've not done the research myself to check this out, but from people that I know in the hobby, at least they're happy to keep it at slightly lower temperatures, and if anything, during the winter, I'm happy to keep them at slightly lower temperatures, because then that's slightly fewer pounds out of my wallet going off to the energy companies. But the general 30 degrees is about right. This is just flat beer, but it's making me burp. Pardon me. But just I'm being open and honest that I'm aiming at 28 now to keep my Discus. Any thoughts for a 2023 calendar? Oh, yeah, this is the time to start doing that, isn't it? Yes, that's... I don't know. Has anybody got any interest in that? Fancy a calendar this year? Get some nice pictures. Maybe we take subscriber submissions. What do you think? See your picture on my calendar and put any profits towards some kind of good cause or something like that. What do you think? What do you think? There's a box liner that I use, butyl rubber. You don't need to take the glass out. Liner onto the glass with loads of... That's exactly what I wanted to do. If you got... hit me up offline, David. Send me some links of some good places to buy a good box liner, because I've seen, let's call them vastly different prices, and I'm not 100% sure I know what I'm looking for to get a good one. I don't mind expensive. I just don't want to pay for something that's going to be crap. So if you're happy with yours, maybe send me where you got it from. Kaylee, we'd buy one if you did another. Oh, excellent, that's good to hear. Silver Creek's been rescaping my 120 gallon 4-foot tank while listening. I'm done now and have the video uploading. Well, let us know if it gets there by the time we get to the end of the stream. We'll all go and look at it together, if you promise not to copyright strike me. I do applaud your persistence, so as the rest of us don't need to torture ourselves. Facial expressions tell us all we need to know. Yes, that was not nice. Confucius, he say, don't bring banana to lemon party. Mr. Maldo, what's up, my guy? Nothing. How are you? As I said last time, the banana bread one reminds me of those old banana sweets. Do you know what? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. When I said custard, you're right, that's what I was thinking of. More the smell than the taste. Tastes just like, meh. I mean, it's inoffensive. Is that the bar we're aiming for now? Graham, why is there not at least one beer bottle or glass as a member sticker yet? Oh, you know what? I think we have to get like 3 more members or something before we get an extra sticker. Oh no. People are leaving. 4 members have cancelled in the last 30 days and only 2 new members have joined. Can't blame you. As much as I'm thankful for it, I do need to do more members only stuff. I mean, you do get a discount. If you become a member, you do get a discount at aquariumadventures.co.uk. If you join as a hero member, if you join as a regular member, you just get that happy, warm feeling knowing you're supporting a small creator to keep his fish room running. Right, what was I doing? Sorry. I think I'm looking for the stickers and stuff, but I can't find them for some reason. I've lost the page. I think we needed like 2 more members. Or 3 more members it might be now. Why can't I find it? Memberships, there we go. See your members. There they are. And there's a page I have to go to that lets me... You get custom emojis. There we go, found it. You get a loyalty badge. So you see people like Kaylee and Zen Ginger and who else? Mickey. You'll see these little Discus badges with orange, blue. That's a loyalty badge that you get to display every time you make a comment that says, "Oh, I've been a member for so long," whatever it is. But you also get to use a set of emojis. And the more members we get, the more emojis we get. And if I can find the thing that tells me how do you do that? Join if you want. You know, if you've got too much money and you're not quite sure where to send it my way. Billy is just a name, says Hans. That's disappointing. Billy is Swedish for William. Oh, Candy Kitten. Yes, I did try that one. Oh, look at that. Martin has become a member. Thank you, Martin. Candy Kitty. Oh, is that one of the disgusting ones, though? Someone else has become a member as well. Dan Fishnerds has also become a member. Oh, thank you very much. That was not like, well, I guess it was a shameless shill to get more members. But if that has unlocked the ability to do a new emoji or a new sticker, we'll get a beer flavoured one in there. Kaylee's also become... You were already a member. What does that mean? Billy in Swedish means comfortable. Are the fish doing alright? I hope so. I probably cursed them by saying I haven't killed any in a while, so, you know, they're probably all boiling downstairs. I thought most of Ikea's products were names or random... I thought they were just made up. I didn't think they were actually Swedish words. Somebody told me that. I guess I'm too gullible. Did you know the word gullible is not in the dictionary? The really old ones like Billy were just names. Do you think there was like a guy called Billy that went, "Do you know what? I have a passion for bookcases"? And now everyone's thinking, "You just made it up." The newer ones seem more random and just wordish. My Discus are at 28.5 to 29 with no issues. I did check with people who saw Discus in the wild and none seemed to suggest lower than 28, even in Tarzu, which is found in cooler areas. Now, who was it I was speaking to? I think it might have been one of those Project Piaba type videos that suggested that during the rainy season, it dipped way down to even to 25. It might even have been on Chen's Discus that I was talking to somebody about it. But I don't know him. That's why I'm sticking to 28, because I have not done the research. Right now we're all just quizzing hands on Swedish names, aren't we? Joe could volunteer a photo of my feet for the calendar. I don't know if we want that kind of calendar. I mean, I've never been into feet, so I wouldn't know whether a nice foot versus a bad foot. Who knows? I heard another noise there. Simon Littlefield's become a member. Thank you very much, Simon. Free Swimmer just wanted to throw a hello at you. Oh, thank you very much. I'm all for an Aquarium Adventures calendar. How much do you feed your Discus a day? I feed them once a day, so sometimes twice, depending how much. Usually on weekends I'll feed them twice a day, but most days I'll feed them once a day. I feed them... it's hard to say. I'm not a fan of this whole feed them as much as they'll eat in 5 minutes, because all my Discus that I've ever kept have always been grazers, and they'll take an hour to go around and scoop up all the food that they want to go for. It's hard to say. I wouldn't even know. Is it 5 grams? Is it 10? A big pinch for all my fish. My recommendation would be feed your fish. Monitor yourself feeding your fish to see what they're getting through. Don't necessarily say, oh, they haven't eaten that in 5 minutes, so I'll get rid of it. Because, like I say, some of them are grazers, and all of mine have been grazers. But don't overfeed, because that's what spoils the water. Oh, God, this is hard to... I wish I could just say, 7 grams. But I'm not sure. A big pinch. So my main food that I feed my Discus is my soft Artemia, and I have 2 tanks of Discus at the moment, and each tank gets one big handful, like a big pinch. Is that a unit of measurement? I shall measure how much I feed my Discus and get back to you. How about that? Watch out for the future video coming your way. Grunlid, or Grunlid, have I said that as Grun? Umlaut over the old Gru? Or Graw? Well, I can't remember. Greenhill or Slope. Box liners. A large aquarium company uses Green Seal. The price for box liners is a bit more than general. Definitely, I'm expecting box liners to be more, but then you don't have to worry about folds and things like that. But I've seen some box liners for I priced it up originally when I was putting the tank together, and it was like, alright, 250 quid. That's not bad. Then the next site for the same size would be like 750 quid. Oh, that must be made of like gold or something. No, they're both butyl box liners. Who knows? I want a Humphrey calendar. Well, we could definitely get Humphrey in the calendar. 40 minutes to an hour before it's uploaded. I'll not copyright strike anyone. Now trying my first Innocent Gun original. Is that the red one? Sweet, but not very strong tasting. I quite like Innocent Gun, but they're basically just fancy tenants. Rude Things in Tank Reflections calendar. Well, Fish Pet's already had too many, clearly. With Innocent Gun, the original's like 6.6%, but drinks like weaker beer. There you go, 69 Omega has been deleted. Well done, Scott. Right, now we're catching up. I'm always getting to the catch up with everyone. Oh, West London Fish Kingdom. I hope I've just answered your question by saying it's not holding up very well at all. I've given up with Mega Tank. It's currently empty. It's drying out, and then I'm going to put in a liner and fix it that way. Fruity one, raspberry and guava. Oh, the not not an offensive one. The Candy Kitty, yes, I remember now. I knew somebody would be. I'm not looking in the dictionary for gullible, honest. Let's not mess about. The best thing about Ikea is the meatballs. Not a fan. No. Email sent about the box link, thank you very much. Paul McCarthy, how you doing, Paul? I want a 2023 calendar to replace my 2022 one that's already up. Okay. Best to you all, I will follow a bit closer now. Thank you very much. Free swimmer. Have you seen the 2023 AAA collaboration calendar? I don't know what that is. Doggy? Where? Not here, obviously. Oh, hot dogs, as in hot dogs for Ikea hot dogs, yes. I mean, there was a time where I couldn't leave Ikea without getting a hot dog. It's like, if you've ever been a member of Costco, have you ever been to Costco without getting a slice of pizza? The red one, also got the rum one. I like both of them. I'm a big fan of that. I also like the green one, the lager beer one. Right, I think we're finally catching up. Do you own a fish store? I do not own a fish store. You know, my dog was behind me, but it's walked off now. Mia? Arnie? I'm clearly not interesting enough for them. I'd love to own a fish store and also have no interest in owning a fish store. I think it's one of those things that seems like a great idea and in reality is just really painful. It just seems like it's like the toughest job in the world, or the hardest, especially these days, the hardest job to have. Like a business that has a small market, huge running costs, at a time of economic hardship for the nation and soaring energy costs. Doesn't seem like a great idea. So support your local fish shop, people. Go out over the weekend, buy some fish food from them, buy some fish if you want some fish. Just give them a bit of help. It's tough out there, as they say. So as much as I'd love to own a fish store, I don't think I could do it. It's too hard. I'm cursed by having a well-paid job that keeps everyone fed and watered here and heated. But I just couldn't. I can't afford to take the risk of doing something like that and doing my own thing. That's why I often refer to this as my retirement plan. This is YouTube's great, as much as it takes a lot of time to film the films and film the films as if I'm like out there Stanley Kubrick style. As long as it takes a lot of time to film the videos and edit them and upload them and keep the momentum going and all that kind of stuff, it's fairly easy. And at the moment, it pays for my hobby, so it gives me £100, a couple £100 a month. If I have a really good month, that pays for the heating, that pays for the electricity, it pays for the consumables. I have some fantastic customers that come back and buy fish food regularly, and it's growing. It's growing very slowly, but it's always growing very slowly. If one day that grows exponentially, I feel like there's going to be a tipping point somewhere, and knowing my luck, I'll never get there. But it's like, I don't want to give up, because it might just be around the corner. It might not be. But as long as it keeps growing, slowly, catchy monkey, eventually it'll pay for my hobby and then start contributing a little bit more as well. Everything that I make through YouTube goes into my hobby. It's either a new camera, it's paying for the bills for the fish and all that kind of stuff. But the more that I can put into it and the more that I get back, you kind of reap the rewards of those investments. So eventually it might give back more than I need to pay for the things that it costs to do this. Does that make sense? So I might make more in a month from eBay than I need to replace cameras, microphones. So all these, you bought this, I didn't buy this, you lot bought this. The camera that you're watching me on, you bought that, I didn't buy it. So these are all things that I can use for improvements, and I'm always happy to do that. And I have no idea why I'm on this thread now, because I've had a very strong beer and another one that's not that strong, but you know what. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but thank you for all your subscribers. Oh, I don't want a fish shop. That's where I was going with it. I like doing this, so I'm more than happy to go on little journeys, like when we did the African tank, and I didn't really know anything about any of the African fish, so I had to gen up on the African fish and find out what fish would go well in a biotope and how to look after them and all that kind of stuff. That's great for me because I get to learn something, but it's great for some of the viewers because they get to learn something. And like people always say, I love that you did this project or that project and failed miserably, so now I know how to avoid that. That's kind of my USP. Happy to do it. That's a service that I provide free of charge. How to avoid making a cock of yourself. So I'm happy to spend any money that I get from you or suggestions that I get from you on doing these little projects. It's fine. I think that's the way to go rather than having a fish shop. I just don't think I'm the right sort of person to work in a fish shop, to run a fish shop. I'd like to be involved in one. I wish I had a fish shop that was nearby, that I could go and check out loads of different fish dead easily all the time. That would be really good. But I just don't see it in my future. Rule number 1 of AA/AAA is don't talk about AA/AAA. I've just broke 1 and 2. Sorry. Steve Epps, there we go, we've got an actual question. Any tips on keeping Val? Every time I plant it, it melts quicker than a bad crypt. And second, is lava rock a good filter media? So working backwards, lava rock, yes, that is a good filter media. It is very porous. If you've got so I always say this type of thing, if you've got limited space for filter media, you might get better ones. So the biohomes of the world and all that kind of stuff. If you're limited in what space you've got to get there and you need to maximize the amount of surface area for colonizing bacteria, you might get better. But if you've got a fairly decent sized canister filter, hang on back, sump, whatever it might be, lava rock's fine, as is alpha croc, as is anything else. Plain old cheap ceramic rings, they'll all be fine in most situations. Any tips on keeping Val? Every time I plant it, it melts quicker than a bad crypt. No, to be honest. It's one of the hardiest plants I've ever had. If it's melting quicker than things that have melted on me has been because I've had either my lights on too long or too strong. So you might want to look at... Val isn't a particularly demanding plant. I'm assuming we're talking about Vala cinereus, whether it's the spiralis or the straight or the... No, spiralis is the one that isn't spirally and giant. There's one that's spirally that isn't called spiralis. Spiralis is normally straight, regular, giant, and there's another one that is like that. But anyway, I digress. None of them are particularly demanding light-wise, so I can only maybe guess you've got too much light, whether that's too much as in too powerful or on too long, I don't know. Maybe try some floating plants, try dimming the lights if you can. It's just a suggestion, I don't know. Finally got the long-finned blue-eyed lemon plico. Oh, Ross has donated £3.36. Thank you very much, Ross. You got them to breed? Well, excellent. Well done, Phil. Costco hot dogs are good too. Ah, right, okay. It seems every fish shop is either closing or selling things other than fish. Yes, I noticed that Fishman Aquatics, who you'll have seen on the channel before, now Fishman Chickens, and rabbits, and hamsters, and tarantulas, and bugs. But you've got to do what you've got to do, I guess. Owning a fish store would ruin the hobby for me. Yeah, I guess there is a little bit of that might be a concern for me. Lots of stores are trying different techniques. Some I think will work out better than others. Pets in general is difficult right now, let alone after the COVID rush. Too many now in rescues. Yeah. Yeah, noticed that too. I know a couple of shops that just sell fish and I don't know how well they're doing. Yeah, so if the takeaway from this is get out and support your local fish shop. Growing exponentially is much more growth than what people give credit, not to be taken lightly. Yeah, I think I'm half cut now because I don't think I meant growing exponentially. I'd love to be growing exponentially. If I was growing exponentially, I'd probably be a millionaire by the end of the year. I'm not going to be. I've seen Keeping Fish Simple has opened a shop now as Aussie. What's the latest with Mega Tank? Saw a recent vid to put it was no longer leaking. Yeah, it started leaking. Apologies. YouTube and Aquarium co-op help boost him, but it's not realistic. Both stores and boom. And he's what I'd say about Corey at the end of the day, a salesman. Is that the Keeping Fish Simple thing? Yeah, it's... Yeah, I mean, you have... Any business is not for the hobbyist, unless the hobbyist is also a businessman. Does that make sense? Just because you're really into your hobby doesn't mean you'll be able to make it a success as a business, because you have to make decisions that a hobbyist is going to be conflicted with. You have to go with a business is a business, especially if you have staff and you have payroll to make. You have to go where the money is. So it doesn't matter if your favourite fish is Discus. If no one ever buys a Discus, you can't afford to have Discus in your shop, and that would be my downfall. I'd be going, yeah, well, look at all these lovely Discus, aren't they fantastic? When did you last sell one? But aren't they fantastic? So you'd end up with tanks full of guppies, cherry shrimp, neon tetras, because they're the things that sell. It's not the things that you're interested in, and that, like someone else said, that would just take the joy out of it for you, and you'd be terrible at it. But you have to be just ruthless and treat it as a business. He's really into his breeding and selling to LFS, so why not just sell direct? Yeah, and that's fine if it works, but that's the whole thing about if you're into breeding. Yeah, what am I trying to say? There's no hobbyist breeder that is breeding enough to fund a retail store, because the needs of the public are going to be so different and diverse that you can't possibly keep up with the demand to make it successful enough. That's why you have, like, Sharpie, for instance, with his 1,000 plecos or his 1,000 ancestris. He's selling them to those shops, so those shops don't have to buy that from anyone else because they're getting them cheap from him. He can't open a shop just selling ancestris, so you have to. And the amount of effort that goes into breeding all these things would take away from the effort required to sell them at retail of all those things. And you need to be reactive. You have to buy in the fish because you need to react to the need. Joe Blogs comes in and says, I want this. Oh, I have not bred them, so you can't have them. No, that's your business is. You have to be able to get them for them. But I get what you're saying, and maybe he is breeding enough to just have an eclectic mix of fish, and that is what it is. But yeah, I guess if you've got a good YouTube following, you could probably get away with that. But it's difficult, that's all I say. Maybe we can breed and sell out of the same place and still enjoy what he's doing. That, probably. The world needs more fish shops selling hot dogs. Yeah, that's it. Chicken man asthmatics. Especially Costco hot dogs. The issues with Val will be related to water hardness. Before I started diluting my Lake Ontario water, it was a weed. Now I can hardly grow it. Possibly, yeah, I hadn't thought about it. Piss on that. Very eloquently put there. What was it I said earlier? I said something the other day that somebody was pissing on my chips, and nobody had heard that expression before. I don't know why I brought that up. I'd live in a fish store if I had one. I actually do want one. My town is a minimum 20 minutes from the nearest big box store. If you can make it work, go for it. I'm not saying this isn't. I'm saying this is why I wouldn't do it, because I would be conflicted over the hobby and the business side of things. I'd want to do things my hobby brain would want to do, and my business brain would say, "Don't do that. No one wants that. Stop doing that." And then my hobby brain would get upset with my business brain. I know I've now got like multiple split personalities here, and I would end up spiraling into madness probably, because I wouldn't be able to do the things that I wanted to do. I'm not saying that anyone else can't do those things. I can't do those things. I agree. Still, the content seems mostly flexing, still very business orientated. I really don't like that kind of content without a level of honesty. I mean, there is a level of flexing gets you there. There's no one. I remember I used to do like websites on the side for people, and I had one that was a recording studio that I wanted to make the banner of their website was Northampton's premier recording studio, and they wouldn't, because oh no, I don't think we are the best recording studio. I'm like, well, you don't have to be, you just have to say you think you are. No. If you don't talk a good game about yourself, what chance have you got? Well, that was my whole point there. The people that you have to give it a bit of, I'm brilliant at this. Everyone come and look at me. Even if you're not brilliant at it, just to get people to come and look at you and get them in the door. It's tricky. I mean, there's people are paid a lot more money than me to work out the strategies for this kind of thing. Who knows? Right, where do we get to? Not saying I'd get one, but I definitely want one. I live in a very small cabin, so having an entire fish room to spread my collection would be awesome. Yeah, and that's why I have a fish room, and that's why I always think it's not big enough, because I want to spread my collection and get it bigger and bigger. Yum. Why can't mediator brain help hobby brain and business brain get along? Mediator brain is so lazy, he never gets involved in these things. Tropical Trossachs. We've still not had anyone guess what a Trossach is. Brewed in Scotland. But you have to remember, I've had one very strong beer, one reasonably strong beer, and I'm talking about opinions rather than facts. It's what I think and how I think things work and wouldn't work. People do things all the time that I could never do, so don't be put off by it. Don't be watching this thinking, oh, I want to start a fish store. Graham says it was a bad idea. Graham says it's a bad idea for Graham, not for anyone else. I'm brilliant at taking photos of my feet in different settings. Joe, I'm starting to get slightly worried about you. I'm all for talking oneself up. However, if you're shit at your job, you'll eventually get found out, as Liz Truss is finding. I have a theory about this. Oh, that's got that taste. It's got that deceptive smell. And then that horrible taste. It's not horrible, it's just, ooh, I'm a fancy beer. I think, so, you know Liz Truss used to be a Liberal Democrat. I think she took one for the team many years ago and is actually a secret agent. Because if you think about it, if you wanted to bring down the Tories, if you were trying to annihilate the Conservative Party at all, what would you have done differently over the last few weeks than what she's done? I think she's actually like a Lib Dem sleeper agent. That she's been quiet all this time, waited for everyone else's ineptitude to take her chance, to just go, Mwah! And yeah, she's just doing everything on purpose. Anyway, no politics. Let's not have politics. Everything's bigger in Texas except my house. I think a Trossach is a person who looks to see if gullible was in a dictionary. No. Good guess. Just realised the name of the stream. Yes, Mickey. If you would like to join us all on Discord, so we have a Discord server. It's a fun place to hang out. No, it's share your pictures, ask for advice, talk nonsense, bully Graham. So that's what we've been doing. So tonight's stream, we seem to have started referring to things that go wrong as I've done an Aquarium Adventures, or I've had an Aquarium Adventures type week. So if something has died or you've had a disaster, oh, I've done a Graham, I've done an Aquarium Adventures. I'm not sure I'm fully on board with that. Or as Rebecca put it, it's character building. No, it's not. It's mean. So rather than that, we came up with an alternative. It's a series of unfortunate events. So that's why I named the stream that way tonight. So join us on Discord, the fastest growing Discord server in all of fishdom. Maybe. Christine's been to the Trossachs, so that should be a clue to some of you, and they weren't tropical. Yes. What do they call that? It's not a palindrome. Oxymoron? Tropical Trossachs? Yes. So there you go, that's a clue. You can go to them and they're not tropical. Wouldn't a tropical Trossach be a rainforest? Ah. Yes. A Trossach is a pygmy-sized relative of the tardigrade. It's not, but aren't tardigrades cool? I don't know why. There's a word for this. When things keep coming up, things you've never heard of before in your life. So I have heard of a tardigrade before, but literally everywhere I turn this week, there's been tardigrade this, tardigrade that. Trossach is a unique word for a unique place. It refers to the romantic area of sparkling lochs, crumpled hills, sleepy forests. Really? I wouldn't have called them romantic. Is that what Google says? The Trossachs generally refers to an area of wooded glens, braes and lochs lying to the east of Ben Lomond in the Stirling Council area of Scotland. The name is taken from a small woodland glen that lies at the centre of the area, but is now generally applied to the wider region. There you go. I was going to say some hills in Scotland, but there you go. I did not know it was a national park either. But anyway, talking about exponential growth, as we were at some point earlier, I did some stats. I wrote them down as well. 2 million views we passed recently. So when was that? Let me just double check my maths. So 12 days ago. So beginning of October 2022. I had to check what year we were in. Past 2 million views. I was going to do this as a graph, but then I thought this is really quite sad. But in 2017, I made a video that had just crossed 500 subscribers. And I remember this like it was yesterday, because I thought, I don't know 500 people. Why are they subscribing to my YouTube channel? Well, my YouTube channel at the time was just unedited, short videos of all kinds of different fish. It was just... So as I could go back 6 months later and go, oh yeah, that has grown. People started watching me, and because I work in IT and I work in tech, I have a general interest in that type of thing. And that was the first time I came across a thing called the algorithm, where I thought, if there's an algorithm, then there must be a way to beat the algorithm. As you can obviously tell, I have not found it, but it was an interesting side project, a diversion if you like. So 2017, 500 subscribers, 80,000 views. So all my videos that I had made had 80,000 views. By the end of the year, December 17, is when I crossed 1,000 subscribers. So the big thing there was getting to 500 subs was like, what? Who are these people? There's an algorithm. YouTube's a thing. You can make money. What? I had to get to 1,000. So I got to, I think it was like 4 months. I got to December 17, got to the 1,000 views, got to 100,000 views and 1,000 subscribers. That blew my mind. I was like, I didn't know 500 people. I definitely don't know 1,000 people. Who are these people? Why are they watching me? This is weird. But let's push it and see how far we can go. Then we got to March 19, so like a year and a bit later, got to 5,000 subscribers. So I'd gained 4,000 subscribers, but I'd also got to 425,000 views. So near 500,000 views. So remember that? 500 subscribers, 80,000. 1,000 subscribers, 100,000. 5,000 subscribers, 425,000. August 20, we crossed the 1 million subscriber. No, we didn't. We crossed the 1 million views thing. I couldn't believe that my videos had... There's the running theme here of me not believing things. I couldn't believe there was a million views of my content. That was August 20. December of 20, I got to 10,000 subscribers, 1.2 million views. And now we're here in October 22. We've almost got 15,000 subscribers, 14,500 subscribers, and we've hit 2 million views. So it took... The thing that stuck out to me here was it took all those years to get to 1 million views, and then it took one more year to get to 2 million views. 2 years, sorry. So that isn't exponential growth, but the line of subscribers going like this and the line of views going like this. I don't know what to make of it. I just thought it was interesting. Discuss. What do you think of that? Is it nonsense? Yes, Hans. I do feel for you, Hans. That was he lost. He had a bad week. Lost some fish, and coined the phrase "I've had an aquarium adventures." Don't get your trossachs in a bunch. No, you wouldn't want to do that. Keeping Fish Simple seems to be trying to recreate the wheel and take credit for it, and he's only a pup. Well, that's a mould that's been set for the king of DIY. I invented this. I went to the Trossachs for my 40th, a load of walking and drinking. Yeah, so that's what I associate the Trossachs with, is lots of walking. Do you know what? I don't actually watch that much of Keeping Fish Simple. So I don't feel like I'm qualified to weigh in on it. But I am qualified to weigh in on that is YouTube. Pretending you invented something. The amount of times... Look at my last video, for instance. Ikea flat pack fish tank. If anyone else made that, they would not have referenced, I watched someone else do this, so I'm trying it. But that is exactly what happens. I even had an email from somebody the other day saying, oh, hello, I'm such and such. I make videos for YouTube. Can I take all your videos and post them on my channel and pretend I made them? I'm like, let me think about that for a minute. No. Can you... No. Why would that be a thing? Can I take all your videos and post them on my channel so I get the credit for them? No. I don't get it. But yeah, like that was one of my big things, or one of my big criticisms about the king of DIY, which is probably unfounded now. Or not unfounded, but surpassed by greater irks from other people, was I bought the King of DIY's book, and it was just full of stuff that was like either common knowledge or blatantly someone else's thing that he'd written down with slightly different language or slightly different words and claimed as his own. And I was like, you didn't invent the siphon. You didn't invent building your own aquarium. But it's just the done thing. So I would hope that anytime I do that, I try and give credit. So like the Ikea video, I said, look, I watched another video. The link's down below. If you want to see actual details of this, please go and watch the other link. It's a good video. But the YouTube way is for other people to just do the same thing and pretend the inspiration didn't happened. It wasn't a thing. Have you seen the company Nice Ponds on Instagram? They're based in Sheffield and they do, as the name suggests, nice ponds. No, I have not. Let's have a look at that. Nice ponds, ponds construction, refurbishment, and Rustling Road. Used to live near there. I might get in touch with them to see if they can help me with my. I'm going to convert. This will mean something to Callum because he's been here. I'm going to convert the bunker in my front garden into a pond. Have it as a bit of a wildlife pond. Let's see, if I share my screen. Yeah, this is the kind of thing. This is the kind of thing that I'm up for. So, if you've been to my house, as maybe 2 of the people watching have been, I've got a golf hole in my front garden with a bunker in it at the moment, and I want to turn that into something like this, like a planted wildlife pond. And if they're in Sheffield, I'm going to need to start making some pond videos so I can claim to be a pond influencer and see if I can get some money off. Because that's what you do when you're on YouTube. They look nice. That's exactly the look that I'm after as well. And I've got loads of rocks around here as well to build all this. Here at Nice Ponds, we specialise in creating naturalistic ponds that aim to replicate nature. Our pond packages are designed and tailor-made to suit your garden or landscape. Our ponds not only look like they're part of the natural environment, but also aim to function like natural ecosystem. Maybe I could do like a voiceover for them. Thank you, Callum. I shall bookmark that. What's this? Certified aquascape contractor. Someone can be a certified aquascape contractor. How do we do that? Become a certified aquascape contractor. Are you ready to set yourself apart from your competition? Introducing the Certified Aquascape Contractor Program. Certified Aquascape Contractors, CACs, are the most qualified informed water feature installers in the industry. I wonder how much this costs. I should do something like this. This could be a good video. Oh, you can be a master certified aquascape contractor. Hmm. 50% off all Aquascape University courses or course bundles. Aquascape University. That's where I'm sending my kids. Of the 14.5k subscribers, only about 50 or 60 of them are cool today. You're quite right. How many of them are still here? Let's see. Yeah, 50 odd. I've had a few steal my photos. I did say one store I'd be tempted to take legal action if they didn't take it down. when I use others' footage, I cite them as I do where I can. Yeah. Well, I mean, this guy wasn't trying to steal my stuff. He was asking if he could steal my stuff. I'm like, what? Quick question, what's the best kind of thermometer to use? I have a digital kind that sticks to the outside of the glass, but it doesn't seem accurate anymore. I prefer... So, let me answer this in two ways. When you have a fish room, something like this is great. I'll just wait for everyone to finish typing of how terrible they are before I go, yeah, they only measure the temperature of the glass or the top of the surface. They don't measure... Bollocks, they're fine. They work great. My favourite type of thermometer is the good old-fashioned aquatic mercury thermometer, where you stick it wherever you want in the tank and you can be doubly sure. And that's how I know these work quite well. Quick, if you've got multiple tanks, beep, 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 you get to see exactly what's going on. They often need calibrating. They often go out of calibration. They often give you false readings. They're easy to... If you put them at too much of an angle, the laser can bounce and give you the temperature of something else. But when you get used to using them, these things are great. The digital ones that stick to the outside of the glass, I have them, I use them. Some of the fish tanks that I bought came with them, stuck to them, and I've not removed them or anything. They're fine. I use them more to tell if there's been a change in temperature rather than the actual temperature. So I have a rainbow fish one where it consistently sits at 26 degrees, but it measures at 23 degrees. And you're like, okay. But I know that if it drops on that or goes up, then it's dropped or gone up. You just have to kind of calibrate. A temperature laser I find best and quick. Yeah, I quite like them as well. I was today years old when I realised you aren't actually Welsh. Escape vid is uploaded. Right, shall we spend the last 10 minutes watching Silver Creek Aquatics video? Just bought one of them Star Trek phaser thermometers yesterday. Right, okay. Let me see how we do this. Small face. I like the title. I did this while listening to Aquarium Adventures. I'll turn it down so snails. So yeah, I'm always interested in what people's approach to aquascaping is. Mine, I always have some kind of idea, but I'm usually surprised if it ends up being the same as the idea that I had. That's why I'm quite excited about my Discus rescape, because I kind of mind before I started. Joe Coffee, I see he's commented down there. Big Al Gore fan. So Silver Creek Aquatics on 555 subscribers. If you fancy, go along, have a look, click that subscribe button. I'll give you a like while I'm here. Is that a courgette that you've just been stuffing down there, or a zucchini, as probably you say? See, there, I think you've just seen the greatest tip you can have as an amateur aquascaper is just sitting back, take 2 minutes, have a look at it. Go, do I like that? I don't know if I do it. I don't know if I do it. Let's change something. Just give yourself a few minutes just staring at your fish tank. See, this is the thing I was struggling with when I was doing mine. I was trying to get some kind of flow. I really wanted to pretend I knew what I was talking about and say things like feng shui and I want the energy to flow this way, blah, 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 blah. But I couldn't get the rocks to play ball. I could get the wood to do what I wanted to do, but I couldn't get the rocks to do it. It took a lot of messing around to get there. And in the end, I think I've actually gone for more of a contrasting thing with the rocks, because they look a lot more random, which to my eye looks a lot more natural. So I'm kind of glad. It was a happy accident, let's put it that way. A cucumber slice for the pleco. Now, I hope at the end of this video you've given us a before and after. You didn't! Sacrilege! I'm going to have to do one for you. So there's the before. Everyone take a good look at that. Oh, that's unfair. It's a bit cloudy. There's the after. So, yeah, I like it. Oh, gone for a bit of an air gap with the rocks. It's one of my favourite things to do is dick around with my fish tank. You can't go wrong with it, can you? So I'm going to refresh this page now, and I hope that 555 has gone up by a couple. 557 has gone up by exactly a couple. What you can ask for. Right, we're on to the last one. Big Berry Bon Bon. Strawberry Milkshake IPA. I've got 6 minutes to drink it. Otherwise, we'll crash into cold water. Oh, it's pink. It's a good sign for it being strawberry. We'll crash into Cold Water Aquatics, who normally streams after me. I'm sure Scott will be putting a link in the description as we speak. Look at that. I'd never get a job in a bar, would I? But you can see how pink it is. Sorry about that. Don't worry about being confused for being Welsh. A number of YouTubers thought I was Irish. Well, I live in Sheffield now. I used to work in London, and I went for a job interview in Sheffield. Came from a night shift on London, drove up to Sheffield, went for the job interview. What part of Ireland are you from? I'm from Glasgow. And she went, do you know what? I've always thought that Glasgow was in Scotland. I had no idea it was in Ireland. And I'm there going, is it because I've not had any sleep, or are you an idiot? Shake your bon. Oh, where's the flake? See, it's calmed down now. We're fine. This and get behind. It's got that smell, but the taste is fine. Oh, that was almost a wrap. Cheers all. There you go. Join us after on Coldwater Aquatic Stream. If you do, go along, say hello, say you've come from the Aquarium Adventures stream. It's nice that we share things. Why did you have to bring that up, Joe? That's not nice of you. We scored first. Amazon Research Centre for Ornamental Fishies. That's like the best name on YouTube. I need a shorter name, otherwise I'm not going to. I'm not going to read out your comments. What's your actual name again? I forget. I once asked a customer which part of America he was from. You'd have thought I had insulted his mother. He was Canadian. I never knew the Canadians hated Americans so much. I think it's more that... Well, I know a few Canadians as well, and it's not that they hate Americans. I don't think Canadians have it in them to hate anyone. It's I don't like to be called English. No Scottish person will like to be called English, especially when they're abroad. Even though they're our closest neighbours. And I'm married to an English person. My children are now English, so it's not one of these things. It's very... Is it tribal, maybe? I don't know what it is. Dr. Awesome, that's what we'll go with. American Amazon Fishies research thing. Canada is in North America. It is in North America, but that doesn't mean they want to be called American. Because that has connotations of being from the United States of America. Right, last 90 seconds you've got to ask me any questions you want to ask me. And then we're calling it a night. I need to get through this, don't I? Quick. Dr. Anthony, that was it. From Alaska to Patagonia, we is all Americans. Well, except for those of us who aren't. Good point, well made, Rebecca. South America for Patagonia. Can you down a beer in 96? I'm pretty sure I could. I mean, I don't want to give negative connotations. I'm not encouraging this kind of behaviour, but I will finish this. Because it's nice. Of tonight's beers, I'm going from a 0 for the horrible peanut brittle thing. The banana bread thing, ridiculously named, but you know, it's fine. Not nice, but fine. I'll give that a 5 for being fine. Tropical Trossachs, disappointing. Strawberry Bonbon, I don't want to say it's a girl's drink because it's pink, but it's very sweet. Let's put it that way. It's very sweet. Not bad sweet, but sweet. But I'm happy with it. We're the old world here. Yes, definitely. Simon says, good news, we've sorted the Christmas decorations. Bad news, I'm covered in glitter. Worse news, it's October, Simon. Don't mess with Texas. Nobody's messing with Texas. Come on, Joe. It's all fine. Right, there we go. End of the road. End of the drink. Click the subscribe button. Go and check out some other fishy videos. If you want to, Discord is up there. Join the Discord. Cold Water Aquatics is streaming now. Go and say hello. Say Graham sent you. And go and watch my next video. That would be nice. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.